Hey everybody, welcome back to Georgia Maga on Tommy Time. Just wanted to have a follow-up video on the county commission vote last week that I had last posted about, where it was tabled to not decide on the opting out of HB 581, which is the homestead exemption assessment cap law that if you've seen the other two or three videos, you are probably aware of. If you aren't aware of it, I'd recommend to you, and I'll even try and go down in the comments and link those previous videos. But if you just go back in this channel, I don't have a whole lot in this channel at this point because this is the biggest part of content that I've been doing since I just started it in the last month uh, on this issue. So you should be able to just go back in the archive and find it fairly easily. But if I can fairly easily, I'll stick those links in the comment section. Uh, but anyway, for those of you that have been watching and those of you that have caught up and are interested, um, we did again get that tabled by the county commission. I had some conversations following on that gave some further context to what had been going on at our county commission. And there had been, and if you go back and look at the video, which ought to be up now over at the county board site, of the discussion that followed after my appearance and a couple of others there last week, opposing the opt out to 581, which would be opting out of the cap, which would, in essence, mean higher taxes um, for everyone involved, or at least, homeowners involved. Um, that there had been some considerable discussion apparently among our county board, which is an all Republican county board, for those who may not know, um, about other forms of relief in lieu of 581. And that night, I got back up during the comment section for the follow on meeting of the board. I stood up and I thanked them for sharing that, and that, clearly, if there's an alternative proposal that's at least as good or hopefully even better, uh, for whatever I'll do, I am available to do from the outside. I'm all on board for that. And I think everybody that's had concerns will be all on board for that too. So I hope that message was received in the spirit it was given, which was positively. And, you know, they'll proceed from there clearly. But something else I just wanted to just, as I've been thinking about this week, and I wanted to put out here for folks to think about. And it's actually something I felt strongly about myself for a while, though we're seeing it in actual real action now at the federal level, and that is Elon Musk's Doge. Franklin County should have a Doge. There's no reason that, particularly at the county level, my God, if we can do it at the federal government level, we most assuredly can do it at the county level. Public audit line by line of what the county is spending. Then, some of us might be more receptive to the idea that the county doesn't have enough money. But just as a healthy exercise for open government, it should be done. I've always advocated, I say always, for as long as I've been involved in politics now, going on over 30 years, that there's no reason why taxpayers shouldn't get a receipt just like you get at the store, just like you get online, any transaction you make, invoice, whatever, that spells out. They can't tell you, every single salary they're paying clearly, but they can show percentages of what departments, what agencies, what offices your tax money is going to. What, but like for Social Security, Medicare. Now, those are entitlements, and to a certain extent, in the federal government, that's a little different because that's off budget. But I mean, I'm sure everybody gets the principle. I don't see any reason why that couldn't be done. As a matter of fact, I think given the confusion surrounding HB 581 and the whole idea of tax relief, and then turning around and saying, well, no, we don't think we can do that, I think it has to be done. It's just as a trust building measure. And I'm not just saying it for this county, I'm saying it for the state. You can't pass a law, tell folks that, okay, here's your tax relief, you've been after us, and so here you go, and then turn around and say, basically, like the old Eddie Murphy joke from 30 years ago, psych. Nobody's going to react well to that at all. And frankly, it should have been seen coming. We've, again, got a new board here, growing pains, learning curve, all that sort of stuff. But the idea that you've got a law that has been passed for close to a year, and the referendum on it went over 60%, nearly 60% in this county, and comes time to implement it, and you're going to say, no, I don't think we're going to do that, that's not going to receive a good reception. So anyway, that's the idea of that. By implementing an audit line by line, people see why you're saying things like, well, the state government is putting all these mandates on us at the local level, and we just can't do this cap this way. Well, people need to be able to judge for themselves. And maybe that opens up a bigger discussion that is beneficial to local government, where you say, hey, look, local citizens, you may not have known about this 40, 50, 60% of our budget that's being hogged by the state government. Maybe you might put some pressure back on them to stop, with the state mandates. I'm all about that too. Small government. You don't get the government smaller by giving it more money. It's never happened in the history of history. And all the laws of economics that you've probably ever heard of, you subsidize something, you get more of it. Taxes are subsidies for government. You give the government more money, it's going to grow larger, and it's going to be out of control, because it does not have any incentive to be efficient, because it doesn't have a profit motive. They're not there to make money. As a matter of fact, what eventually will happen is, in order to justify the next budget, to make sure that they get the same level or more funding the following year, even if the money somehow doesn't get spent, they'll make sure to make sure they get the same budget or bigger the next year. So this is why we need the audit. This is why we need some confidence building measure based on the way, and I'm not trying to beat up unnecessarily on local government here. The state has handled this poorly too. They tried to pass the buck with this. They didn't want to suffer the pain of saying no to taxpayers themselves, so they put it on local officials who felt like that their budgets would be strained by agreeing to HB 581 as it was handed to them. So that's the update for today. I'll be sharing this, at least some of it, with the Board of Education tomorrow. For those of you who are available, I believe they have I think it's a 5:30 meeting. Again, I'll try to post in the comments. I think it's a 5:30 meeting at the county board. Board of Education, county board, but county Board of Education offices here in Franklin County, Georgia. And I'm trying to, they're over by, I believe they're still by what's the old elementary school, was my elementary school. They've since moved it to the middle of the county, which is another thing that makes no sense. But hey, like I say, this is government we're dealing with. Okay. Thanks for tuning in as always. We'll get that additional location and previous video information such that I can in the comments. And thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and share if you're so inclined. And we'll be back next time.